of the financial statements. और मैं आपको बताऊं कि good news ये है कि for anyone to be good in finance, you only need to know these three statements. Balance sheet क्या है, P&L क्या है, and the cash flow statement क्या है. And that is what we will understand today. So the balance sheet and P&L and the cash flow statement are like, neutron, proton and electron. So we all know, anyone who understands what is a neutron, proton, electron in physics, he can solve any problem in physics. Same is the case with the P&L, balance sheet and the cash flow. So if you know them, you can really solve any problem in the domain of finance. And that is what now we will understand together. Please feel free to ask me any question, anytime, without any hesitation. So let's begin. We start with the P&L. So this is how the P&L of any company would look like. So what you have on the top is the sales. So you call it sales, you call it revenue from operations, or you call it top line. They all mean the same thing. They all mean the same thing. And why they all mean the same thing? Because what is top line? Why it is called as top line? Because you can see sales is the line which is on the top of the statement, and that is why sales is also referred as top line. From the top line, let's say this company has a top line of 1000. So I'm just writing here. And what do you do now? So from the top line you deduct the first cost that you incur in a business. And you know what is the first cost that we incur in a business? It is the raw material cost, right? Isn't it, everybody? So the first cost that we incur in any business. And by the way, remember, I'm discussing this example from the perspective of a manufacturing company. But the structure remains the same. It doesn't make any difference. अगर कोई ट्रेडिंग कंपनी है तो उसमें रॉ मटेरियल कॉस्ट आएगी, बिकॉज ट्रेडिंग कंपनी क्या करती है, वो ट्रेडिंग मटेरियल परचेस करते हैं और सेल करते हैं. सो दे स्टिल हैव द रॉ मटेरियल कॉस्ट, ओनली थिंग दे डोंट कन्वर्ट इट इनटू अ फिनिश्ड प्रोडक्ट quickly. If it is a IT company or it is a service company or it is a software company, they will not have a material cost. So they will not have material cost. That's the only difference. Otherwise, they will have they will also not have manufacturing cost. Software development company है तो उनके पास में मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कॉस्ट भी नहीं होगी, बिकॉज दे आर नॉट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एनीथिंग. बट सॉफ्टवेयर कंपनी है, दे विल बी इनकरिंग कॉस्ट ऑन द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द सॉफ्टवेयर. आर यू विद मी? सो दैट मीन्स द सैलरी that a software company will pay to the employees who are engaged in the development of the software. So that becomes their direct cost, right? So that will be part of your software development cost instead of the manufacturing cost, but it is going to be there. That is the point that I'm trying to convey. Also remember once for all that the principles of finance are universally the same. What I am discussing with you in this class, I've discussed the same thing in America, I've discussed the same thing in South Africa, I've discussed the same thing in Russia, I've discussed the same thing in Dubai, I've discussed the same thing in Malaysia, Sri Lanka, all over the globe actually. So the principles of finance do not change from the geography to geography. They are all same, there is no difference whatsoever. So ये जो फॉर्मेट हम लोग डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, इसी फॉर्मेट को यूज करके people in America or Russia will make the financial analysis of a business. So the first thing that we deduct is the material cost, and the second cost that we incur is let's say the material cost here is 300, and then we have a manufacturing cost. So remember, manufacturing cost is also known as conversion cost. And why it is known as conversion cost? No rocket science. Manufacturing expenses you incur for what? You incur the manufacturing expenses for converting raw material into finished product. So that is why manufacturing cost is also known as conversion cost. So let's say this company has a conversion cost of 100, and what you do, you deduct from the sales the raw material cost and also deduct the manufacturing expenses. What you get in your hand is gross profit. Gross profit. Now this gross profit, please remember, कुछ लोग इसको gross margin के नाम से बोलते हैं, कुछ लोग इसको gross profit margin बोलते हैं, कुछ लोग इसको gross value addition बोलते हैं, कुछ इसको gross contribution बोलते हैं. They all mean the same thing. Remember one more thing, the manufacturing expenses and the raw material cost put together is also known as COGS, and that is cost of goods sold. In other words, what we are saying is अगर आप सेल्स में से COGS माइनस करेंगे एवरीबॉडी, तो आपके हाथ में क्या बचेगा? ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट, राइट? ओके। अब ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट में से आप क्या माइनस करोगे? ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट में से आप माइनस करोगे समथिंग दैट इज नोन एज SG&A, सेलिंग जनरल एंड एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एक्सपेंसेस, and let's say that amount is 1000, and what you get in your hand is known as EBITDA. Is known as EBITDA. EBITDA is also known as cash operating profit. EBITDA is also known as cash operating profit. Now let me tell you, friends, is it clear to so far, everybody? Naren, does it make sense? Yeah. Krishna, does it make sense? Sandeep? Yeah. Okay. Tusharji, does it make sense? Yeah. Manoj, Mukesh, Nikhil, Rahul ji, Sajal, पल्लवी जी, अमोद जी, ओके, वेरी गुड। सो अब देखिए, ये जो EBITDA है ना, जो लोग आप में से वैल्यूएशन के लिए इस क्लास में आए हैं, खास तौर से समझ के लिए, ये जो EBITDA है, दिस EBITDA इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. This EBITDA is also known as cash operating profit. And why it is known as cash operating profit? Answer of course is very simple. इसको EBITDA को cash operating profit क्यों कहते हैं? That is because EBITDA is the cash which you are getting in your hand from your operations. टोटल कितना कैश है आपके हाथ में आया? 1000. रॉ मटेरियल में कितना चला गया? 300, राइट? और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कॉस्ट में कितना चला गया? 100. ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट कितना हुआ आपका? 600. उसमें से 100 कहाँ चला गया? सेलिंग जनरल एंड एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव एक्सपेंसेस में. तो आपके हाथ में कितना कैश बचा? 400. सो दिस EBITDA इज आल्सो नोन एज कैश ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट. इसको कैश ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट भी कहते हैं. Now this is one number, and that is what I want all of you to make a note of it. This number is the most important number for any business. So पूरी दुनिया में ये जो नंबर है, it's so critical. Just to give you an example, I was with ArcelorMittal for 6 years. In those 6 years, Mr. Mittal, of course, he would do it otherwise also. So Mr. Mittal would send a mail to every top executive in the group. And this mail will highlight only 3 things. And what those 3 things are, number 1, he would highlight health and safety. So in ArcelorMittal, health and safety is of such a vital importance. You can imagine the health and safety function is directly under Mr. Mittal, who is the head of the company. Second thing he would highlight is the EBITDA. And third he would highlight is the debt, reduce the debt. So I want to ask this question to every one of you. Number 1, why is EBITDA so important? Number 2, what is the relationship between the EBITDA and the borrowing of a business? And number 3, what is the connection between EBITDA and the valuation of a business? जब मैं आपसे बात कर रहा हूं तो आपको इतना तो ध्यान में आ गया होगा कि EBITDA का और वैल्यूएशन का डायरेक्ट कनेक्शन है. राहुल जी, है ना? EBITDA का और वैल्यूएशन का डायरेक्ट कनेक्शन है. तो ये 3 सवाल हैं जो मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूं. डिस्कस विद your teammate and give me the answer. So 3 of you can discuss. आप दोनों डिस्कस करिए और आप दोनों and give me the answer कि EBITDA क्यों इम्पोर्टेंट है. नंबर 2, EBITDA का और बोरोइंग से क्या कनेक्शन है. एंड नंबर 3, EBITDA का और वैल्यूएशन का क्या कनेक्शन है. एंड आई एम गिविंग यू टाइम ऑफ 1 minute and 55 seconds. Your time starts now.